So you see how it slowed down? I don't know if you guys caught that. There was a gentleman in that bike
like
lane.
a Waymo like this, and like a regular conventional sense, I probably still take the Uber. I think there's just that human connection still.
It has to find a spot to park in. There it goes. See ya. Let's take a Waymo to Curb-A-Board 2025. I got my friend here. Remember I told you we were gonna meet somebody?
Oh yeah, we're getting to business here.
We're getting into Waymo. It's my friend Keon. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
So, I've never been in a Waymo before. I'm gonna put some split screens here. We had like a little promo code, so it's like less than $1 to go there. It's about a mile away. The price changes, it fluctuates, just like with Uber and Lyft, you know, like I guess based on demand. Let's go to Curb-A-Board and be driven in a driverless car. See you guys in a minute. All right, so the Waymo should be here in like a minute and a half or so. You can see the navigational, like where it is. So that's helpful. But I'll show you guys in just a moment. We're gonna be picked up and there's nobody driving this automobile in downtown LA. That's the hotel we're staying at right there. Really interesting, unique, boutique kind of hotel. So, all right, we'll see a Waymo in just a moment. All right, I think that's our Waymo right there. Let's walk up a little maybe. You guys see that white car with the crazy cameras on top? Yep, that's got to be it right there. So let's see how this works here. This is the Waymo. Just get in. Yep, PS. Oh, I don't know how this works. So you see there's the initials up there.
Ah, there you go.
Right? So that's how you know that it's yours. All right. All right, so in the app, there's an unlock button, right? Keon's gonna load his stuff up here. We'll go ahead and get in the back. All right, so here we go. There's a ghost man in here, guys. Nobody. Good morning, Pedro. All right, good morning, how are you? All right, so we are driverless. It says it waits 2 minutes. All right, so there's a start ride button there. We'll wait just a second, we'll start this ride. Okay, so there's our destination. Okay, that's where Curb-A-Board is at. So let's just go ahead and hit start ride, see what happens here. I'm sure the car's
Hello from Waymo. As we get going,
Okay.
just give us 1 minute to cover a few riding tips. This
Is that a
experience
Jaguar? Yeah, that's a Jaguar. So we're in a Jaguar, and I remember that from last time.
the same as always. So keep your seatbelt fastened, please.
Arrival in 13 minutes at
If you're
10:03.
traveling with little ones,
Oh, let me buckle up. All right.
but our microphones are only on when you're connected to riding.
So, Kean, how do you feel about being in a car with nobody driving it?
It is an odd experience, but so far I'm actually a little more comfortable about it than I thought I would be.
Okay.
So it's a bit trippy, but actually so far so good.
I agree. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, it's odd to be in a car and, you know, as you guys remember last year, I went in a car, but somebody was sitting in the passenger seat, but he wasn't driving. This is my first time in an automobile with nobody in it with me that's, you know, responsible for it. So
See, that's an
Kinda
interesting
interesting.
thing. It looked like that guy was about to violate the crosswalk there, but he did stop, and Waymo didn't make any adjustments there.
Huh.
So it was able to detect that he had stopped. Very impressive.
well, there's a lot of cameras here, right? They're everywhere.
That is true.
So okay, well, got the navigation you can see there. So let me ask you guys a question in the comments. How safe would you feel being in a car? How do you feel, I mean, obviously this is taking away an Uber or Lyft opportunity. I could have got an Uber and paid a driver and they would have got the tip and all that. Instead, this ride would have cost about $11, but I had a $10 promo code. So it only cost $1, right? So this is where a lot of companies want to go because it keeps their costs down. Now, obviously, there's a lot of upfront costs when you're buying a vehicle and the technology, the marketing, all those things. But at the end of the day, there's no driver, and this thing has to accept every trip. that's the benefit from the company standpoint. But how do you guys feel about it?
Now, something you do want to point out, Pedro, is that there is a lot of background to this. It's not something that is just, oh yeah, we're just letting an automatic car just drive itself with no bells or whistles. You can see actually right here on the screen here that there is a support button.
Yep.
You can also request to pull over, you can change the music. So there is a lot internally, but there's also, I believe it's some form of 24/7 customer support or whatever hours that Waymo is available.
Yeah.
There's customer support live and ready to assist you just in case anything happens. So it's not necessarily completely getting rid of the people, the human level of the infrastructure of driving.
Good
it's
point.
just changing necessarily where that human is being involved.
Yeah, somebody's got some bass. I don't think that's us, but and look, this is great. You know, you could pause the music, play the music, whatever, right? So that's pretty. Listen, I'll say this: convenient. So let's just talk. You know, let's just talk basics here. Convenience. It didn't take any longer to get this than an Uber. You're not worried about a driver having a bad day and doing it. This is just taking you to where you want to go, and a lot of consumers want that, and they want it as cheap as possible. Let's be frank here. Americans are struggling. Everything's expensive. Ubers cost a lot of money. So at the end of the day, if you can spend half the amount of money in some cases and take a driverless car, I think a lot of people, especially in cities like this, will opt for that option versus getting picked up by a driver and then having to pay more money to go to the same exact spot.
Would you guys take a ride in a car without a driver? Well, that is what myself and my good buddy Pedro over here are doing right now. We are in a Waymo here in downtown Los Angeles, and we're really putting it through the test here. Take a look at this. We have 2 lanes here in downtown Los Angeles. It is completely jam-packed with people and tents and merchandise everywhere. And you can see it is crazy, but this Waymo is not struggling. You've got full LiDAR support throughout this car, and you've got 24/7 support through the app for real-life human beings, not just some.
We just drove through a part of Skid Row. You guys see all these tents and stuff, and the vehicle's driving probably about how I would and Kean would. It's aware of what's going on. But I know there's a lot of people that are worried about accidents and this and that and what they can detect. I think there's validity to that because we've seen some accidents and things, but drivers get in accidents too. So I'm not for drivers not having opportunities, but if we're being realistic here, if you're looking at it from a consumer standpoint, this is a benefit in a lot of ways.
Okay, another Waymo right there.
There's another Waymo right over there. You guys see that first car on the left there? They're Jaguars. I don't know if they're exclusively that. I'm not really sure. I'll find out. But yeah, they're all over the place in downtown LA, and I believe other markets. I think 10 cities from what I read. I'll put something in the description box if I'm wrong about that. But yeah, pretty. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's clean. I mean, it's for you customers that are watching out there. Let me know what you think. Would you take one of these? Yes and no, and why?
In the comments below, would you take a Waymo for yourself?
All right, about 3 minutes away. So you see how it slowed down? I don't know if you guys caught that. There was a gentleman in that bike lane going the opposite direction. The lane's you're supposed to be going that way in the direction of the car, and the car slowed down. I think you guys caught that. I hope I got it on video. So that's a safety feature, I'm assuming. It detected something there and it slowed down. So that's a good thing. All right, got the blinker on. You can hear the blinker. I mean, listen, I mean, it's driving us there. That's the point, right? So
if I had the choice between it being an actual driver or if it being like a Waymo like this and like a regular conventional sense, I'd probably still take the Uber. I think there's just that human connection still, that level of personal understanding that this person is somebody who's well, you know, well rated on the Uber apps and such. It's somebody that knows how to drive versus an algorithm where you have to trust the system.
Yep, I agree. So it's saying we're almost there. Don't forget your keys, wallet, items in trunk.
Pull the handle twice to exit.
Pull the handle twice to
The
exit.
first pull unlocks. The second opens the door.
So 2 pulls. Yep, this is it. So here's Kerbivore right here. Okay, it's the same place it was last year. And we arrived in a Waymo being driven by a ghost. There we go.
Opens the
So
door.
interesting thing, if it was an actual person, we probably would have been dropped off right there. Oh, here's a truck right here coming out. Okay, it detected the truck and it stopped.
You're here.
Now we're here. But if it was an actual person, we probably would have been dropped off a
Don't
block
forget
back
any
that
items
way.
in
But I
the
had to find the spot. Yep, so here's our... Open the trunk for Key in there. He's gonna get his stuff. That's the Waymo experience. I mean, it's simple, guys. It's not hard, but it's interesting. You notice a few things. There are some slight subtle differences than if it was a human being. And the one thing that popped out to me is it was aware of its surroundings. However, a human being would have dropped us off that way, right? And we would have just hopped right out. But the Waymo's not gonna be like, you know, double parked or parked in the middle of the street. You know what I'm saying? So it has to find a spot to park, and there it goes. See ya.